And one of the things we have to talk about with Rob Font, of course, is his jab. You know, the accuracy of his jab, there's no tell on it. It literally comes from where it is right out to the target. There's no drawback. There's no wind up. You don't see him try and put any power into it. And this is similar with all of these, with all of the guys from his team. You know, Calvin Kattar's the same. They understand boxing from a boxing perspective. They do a lot of boxing, and you can see that they spend a lot of time throwing hands and a lot of time sparring with guys that are also very good at boxing, because they have to refine their skills to make them more effective. And you know, Rob Font, he's a great boxer. He's got great head movement. You know, you'll see his head movement against Thomas Almeida. There are also a few submission options for Rob Font as well, but like I said, I feel like their grappling skills are going to cancel one another out a bit. Marlon Vera is much more about rear naked chokes than anything else. He's got 8 submission wins on his record, and we're looking at rear naked chokes predominantly. You know, you can go earlier into his career. I mean, he's got the armbar over Brian Kelleher. He's got a triangle choke as well in one of his early UFC fights. But, you know, I mean, really, in his more recent fights, his last couple of submissions have been back takes. You know, Guido Canetti and Noelan Hernandez. Nice back control, nice rear naked choke finishing. But again, it's a secondary part to his game, really. He wants to be standing trading punches. And against Frankie Edgar, you know, we saw Frankie land a few takedowns, but the persistence and the determination of Marlon Vera to land his shots, it eventually got through. And that same front kick that we saw from Vera, we've also seen it from Rob Font as well. You know, the switch knee that we saw from Vera, we've seen from Rob Font as well. Very interesting, the similarities in their game and how they're going to approach this. What I expect is for Rob Font to want to try and box a lot more. So Marlon Vera's got a slightly lower output. When it comes to strikes landed per minute, Rob Font is about a strike and a half per minute greater than Marlon Vera. He's also got better striking defense as well, which is going to put him in good stead. But then his striking accuracy does drop off a little bit. So this to me is where I feel like stats don't really do his style justice, because yes, you know, he has a slightly higher striking output than Marlon Vera, but a slightly lower striking accuracy. But then that tells me that a lot of the shots that are not being counted as landing are probably not intended to land. Like I said, with Rob Font and with all the New England guys, their boxing style, they understand how to throw a shot to open up a channel for the next one, or how to throw one to transition into the next one. Like, Rob Font may know full well that if he throws that right hand, that Chito Vera is going to back up and move away. But that stepping through to allow him to throw the next shot is sometimes where the striking accuracy drops off, but the striking effectiveness is maintained. They've got a very similar average fight time. So Marlon Vera has got a 7 minutes longer total fight time. So Rob Font is almost exactly 2.5 hours fight time. Chito Vera is 2 hours and 37 minutes. So there's like a 7-minute advantage for Chito Vera. But then if you look at the total strikes landed, Vera's at 627 total for the UFC career, and Rob Font's at 847. So even though he's got 7 minutes less fight time, he's landed a greater number of strikes. Which I think is going to be interesting, because, you know, Chito Vera does stand in the pocket. He does quite happily take a few shots. And, you know, over 5 rounds, I wonder whether there's a deterioration in Chito Vera, or whether he actually is going to get better into the 4th and 5th round.